What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the exam breakdown. Today is Monday, April 7th, 2025. Holy smokes, things are moving quick. My name is Kumar. It is a pleasure to be with you live this Monday afternoon. The point of the exam breakdowns is to kind of give you like this lunch break period where you're kind of like, hey, I need to get this done. I need to focus. I need to work. And my job is to make you work. Get through this examination so that you can get on with the better parts of your life instead of making this the death spiral that it can become. So our goal here of this channel is to help folks get through in very unique ways. We come with a lot of experience training lots and lots of folks, and it's a pleasure to be here. I've had the pleasure of seeing, countless folks make it through the finish line. I've helped them get through, and I've seen them as their careers are elevating and they're moving on, or they are top producers and they are monsters in the field. It is exciting. So it is my wish for you to experience the same thing. And during this exam breakdown, I'm going to be going through some content with you, things that I think are relevant for the examination. My philosophy, and it's the philosophy of my team, is to cut through the noise and the nonsense. Many of you guys are taking pre-licensing courses all over the country, everywhere, anywhere, and our stuff works in every single state. Check out the comments and you will see for yourselves. Folks are passing left and right. We've helped hundreds in the past few weeks pass exams. Man, it has been fantastic. Consider subscribing to our channel where you're going to get us going live and all of our content that is doing really well with the audience. People are loving it. People are watching it. People are consuming it, and people are passing. So that's the best part. Now, today on the exam breakdown, what I want to do is I want to go through a brand new release. So recently we just added a bunch of Shopify content to our channel, and I'm excited about it. The products are really cool. There's, we have this amazing study guide. We have this amazing set of flashcards. It's really cool. So you will see it now as you are watching our content. It's going to be below, just below the fold of the video screen. You're going to see access to our store. Check out this stuff. It is awesome. And what I want to go over today is on our Etsy store. This is our most popular product. By far, it is so popular, we sell tons of these. Now, what we've done is we've compiled a study guide which incorporates concepts from this cheat sheet that we're going to be going over today, the exam breakdown. And this stuff is really straight to the point. It's amazing. And the study guide that's actually on sale right now, so you should buy it, because I'm yelling at Kate for discounting it. I'm like, dude, no discounts. And she's like, yes, discounts. We have to help our folks. I'm like, no discounts. And so she discounted it because she gets the overrule authority. And because of that, it's on sale. So you better snap it up. Otherwise, I'm kicking it up because I think it's awesome. Now, the study guide is like 60 plus pages, and it comes with the 50 question exam. It comes with matching. It comes with the cheat sheet concepts. I'm going to, give you a couple of these today and show you an overview. It is awesome. And so you should pick it up, and that's what you should do. And then you should, if you like it, subscribe and tell me yo, D, this is awesome. Or even reach out to Kate in the comments. Hey, yo, Kate, this is awesome, because she puts in a lot of hard work. Nobody gets to meet her. She's like one of the unsung heroes of our channel. All right. So here we go. Let me show you some of this stuff, and I'm going to kind of get into it. Again, this is our super popular study guide. We sell this thing on Etsy. And it's just cool. It's laid out nicely. It's easy to digest. I'll just move this over. I'll get out of your way in a second, but I'm going to stay in your way because this is what I like to do. All right, so here we go. For example, the bundle of rights. I am telling you, you're going to need to know this. You're going to see one question or so on the bundle of rights. You're going to throw these phrases in. The bundle of rights, remember, are those things that we get when we have an ownership interest in some kind of property. So the bundle of rights refers to the various legal privileges that come with property ownership. Now, the bundle of rights are this, and you need to memorize these for exams: possession, control, exclusion, enjoyment, and disposition. Now, these make up the bundle of rights. Now, I will add to this just because I am like this. No one knows why. But also, in addition to the bundle of rights, I'm just going to see if I can write it right here. All right, so here we go. Hopefully this is clear to you guys. So there are two types of title when we are dealing with ownership. And there is legal title, And there's something that you will see in your books known as equitable title. Legal title is evidenced by documents like the deed. Right? That's evidence of legal title. Now, the bundle of rights that we're looking at here, possession, control, exclusion, enjoyment, disposition, these are all intangible rights, right? Cannot be touched physically. But these are the reason why we want to own anything, right? So the reason why you have the home that you're living in or the dwelling that you're living in is because you have the right to possess this thing, right? The right to physically occupy and use it. You have the right to control this property, the ability to determine how to use the property within the confines of the law, the right to keep other folks out. You can put a fence up, keep others from entering your property without permission, right? Those are rights that you can display by having ownership. The right of enjoyment really is the most important one, the right to use the property without outside interference, and the right of disposition, the ability to transfer of the ownership and control of the property to another party. Pay me and I'll sell you my house. The ability to sell it, to lease it, to gift it, to will, or otherwise convey the property to somebody else. Now, this is known as equitable title. Equitable title is technically what the bundle of rights is. It's just another fancy name of saying it. Now, for my advanced students, the way you save hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, tens upon thousands of dollars is understanding things like trusts. And the way a trust functionally works is rooted in equitable title. So let me just explain something to my students. Yes, you might be thinking, and this might be incorrect, so please, I apologize in advance for being this way, but I'm telling you, I've made a lot of money and understood a lot of things about this business. I've been a professional investor for 30 years now. I can assure you that a lot of folks, their ambition is to make a lot of money. And then the reality is that when you get into businesses like this, you'll start to inevitably see cash flow if you're good at the business. And then it's like, well, what do I do with this? And then you start to accumulate assets, like you buy your investment property. A huge play, by the way, for a lot of my students is they get into brokerage, they start to understand, they get the inside track, they start to make some money, they start to meet right people, and then they start to buy investment properties of their own. They want to be investors. They want to have passive income. They want to live off of investment assets, right? So this is a big exit strategy. And I can assure you, people that don't understand what equitable title is, outside of the exam, it should never be, your attitude should never be, oh, I'll figure that out later. No, it's now. Now is the time you need to figure this stuff out. Because later, then you have strategy. If you don't understand what equitable title is, even for the exam purposes, beyond exam purposes, if you don't understand that equitable title, legal title are the foundation framework of trusts, and if you don't structure your asset holdings properly, like in many instances, maybe an irrevocable trust, maybe a revocable trust, all of that stuff. Listen, it saves millions of dollars over the legacy of a professional investor that's successful. We're talking abilities to do amazing things and utilize the legal framework of what we have. And so I'm going to tell my students, rise above to another standard. When I meet folks that don't know any of this stuff, when it comes to professionalism, I don't even want to waste my time with them, right? You're my students. I love being here and teaching you. But when I'm in the field and you meet me in the field and you don't know what you're talking about, then I am not going to I'm not going to work with you professionally. I'm going to tell you that. I'll try to steer you in the right direction. I'll try to give you some advice because I'm good like that, but I don't want to work with incompetent people. So rise to the challenge. Be good at this stuff. Learn it hard. This is important stuff. And even something as fundamental as the bundle of rights that I'm showing you here is the framework for things like a trust. And trusts are instruments that are on this exam very, very briefly, but the gravity of a trust is so magnificently powerful. It is one of those black hole events that if you understand it, you will be able to wield the swords of professional investors. And now you're speaking their language. So don't think of it like it's just a thing on the exam. Now, for the exam, you do want to memorize these because they're going to be like multiple choice questions where you have to try to figure this out. The next concept, very, very simple. What is the difference between real property and personal property? Don't forget, I'll just throw it in here that, we give you some definitions. But the other side of this is you want to know that personal property is also known as personalty. Real property is also referred to as realty. And they also refer to personal property on exams as chattel. All right, so you want to know chattel. Or if you want to be fancy, you can go chattel. It's not, it's chattel. In the cheat sheet, we delineate the difference. And this is a thing on the exam. I'm fairly confident that it's going to be, what is the difference between a joint tenancy and a tenancy in common? All right, so it kind of breaks it down. It gives you a very nice little summary. The joint tenancy co-owners have equal and undivided interests in the property. A crucial feature of a joint tenancy is, this is absolutely on exams. You've heard me bark at you about this constantly. It's the right of survivorship, meaning that when one owner passes away, their share automatically transfers to the remaining joint tenants. So joint tenancy has the right of survivorship. A tenancy in common has no right of survivorship. So no right of survivorship. If a tenant in common passes away, then their share goes to their heirs. So no right of survivorship means it goes to your heirs. It is counterintuitive when you think about that. So like, think of the opposite. Most students get this wrong on exams because they confuse right of survivorship's attributes. And so the reality here is, if you have no right of survivorship, then it goes to your estate. If you have the partnership or the joint tenancy has the right of survivorship, like a joint tenancy, then it goes to the surviving co-owners. For my regular folks tuning in, this is not matcha. This is like regular tea. It's actually, I think it's called mud water. So I'm giving it a whirl. Buddy of mine swears by it. So let's see what happens with this mud water. Not sure. I'm down with whatever. The next thing that I want to go through here are the elements of a valid contract. Oh man, is this on real estate examinations in every state all over the place, right? So we want to memorize these, like the offer and an acceptance. Now, sometimes in books you learn them as 5 elements. They clump together offer and acceptance. Some of your more popular publications across the United States do. I've seen them all. I've had, experienced them all. And I'm here to tell you that those are 700 pages, 600 pages, man. You don't need to look through all of that stuff. Again, you want to know the real estate business, but if you're trying to get through the examination, then we're looking for some of the common things. The 6 elements of a valid contract is one of those things. Offer and acceptance, consideration, intention of the parties, capacity, and the legality. The proposal made by one party, the offeror, to another party, the offeree, indicating a willingness to enter into a specific agreement. An acceptance of that offer is an agreement by the offeree to the terms of the offer being made by the offeror. Now, we must have a complete, there's another phrase that you see on exams, I'll write it here, meeting of the minds. A meeting of the minds. And if we have that, it means everything in the offer was accepted. So in other words, I can say, hey, I'll buy your property for $500,000. I need to close in 60 days. You say, I'll take the $500,000, but I want to close in 30 days. That isn't an acceptance, even though we agreed on price. Now, exam writers like to throw these kinds of ideas at you to see if you'll understand that there has to be a complete meeting of the minds here, that even though we accepted price, we didn't accept all the terms, and therefore that was a rejection of the offer, and that was a counter offer. That wasn't an acceptance. So you want to know the difference between a counter proposal or counter offer and an acceptance. And that all hinges on the thing called the meeting of the minds. Now, consideration is something that even law school students, when I went, it was confusing to some degree. Like, what is consideration? So basically, it's very simple. Like the problem with a lot of students is that they overthink this one. Consideration is just something of value that is exchanged between the parties, ensuring that both parties are giving and receiving something in return, creating a mutual obligation. This could be things like money, obviously, in a real estate deal. Could be goods, services. It could even be like a promise to do something or a promise to not do something. All of these are good and valuable between the parties. The intention of the parties must be a genuine thing, creating a legally binding contracts. The capacity of the parties. In capacity, all parties to a contract must be of legal age, mentally competent, they're going to test you here, and not under any influence of substance that impairs their judgment. Contracts involving minors, oh man, this is on there, or individuals lacking mental capacity, may be voidable. So another thing that you dovetail into here is valid versus void versus voidable. And definitely the voidability of contracts, specifically maybe a minor child or somebody mentally incompetent, is on real estate examinations. And then finally, to sum this one up, there has to be some level of legality. The subject matters of the contract must be legal. So on an exam, if you get something for some illegal purpose, you get to pick void. So this is where that valid, void, and the validity of contracts comes back in to a topic like this. Contracts make up across the United States roughly 19 to 20% of your real estate exam. So when folks ask me, hey, yo, D, what should I study and focus on? Well, it usually is, I dovetail it in. What are you nervous of? Many say math, right? So math is a sore spot for a lot of folks. I get it. I understand. I love math, but I get why people have the anxiety. And instead of trying to repair that in their mind, which is also very possible, I've done that. And people have gone on to lead really much more meaningful lives if they're not intimidated by math, trust me. But the reality here is if math ain't your thing, then we say, hey, well, let's put math aside. And I coach people to specifically avoid math. As a matter of fact, I just say guess, in some instances. And it's strategic coaching. When I coach folks, this is a conversation that we might always have. I teach them how to intelligently guess, right? And how to improve their odds significantly in getting them right, believe it or not. But to not sweat it. And then we go and focus on things like this. Contracts, I'm telling you, 20%, you want to know this stuff. And this study guide makes it kind of fun to go through this stuff. And it's easy to digest, which is also nice. Now, another thing on examinations is easements. And you want to know the different types of easements. You will guaranteed see easements on exams. On state examinations, they love to throw in the big one here is the appurtenant easement, the easement by prescription. And the prescriptive easement is also connected to something called adverse possession. And that's absolutely on examinations. You will see it in every state. Every state's adverse possession rights, laws, and timing and tempo are different, right? Some states are 5 years, some states are 30 years. So you want to know the state that you're taking this in and kind of know what their adverse possession laws are. But in some states, instead of actual title to the property, they are awarded an easement by prescription, which is a legal right acquired by a continuous and uninterrupted use of another person's property for a specific period without permission. And the use is often open, visible, and they use the word hostile. Hostile means that you're using it and the person that owns it either knows or should have known that it was yours. And they also use another phrase called notorious, which means that people around the property would know that that's not your property. You're kind of squatting on it. So the easement by prescription and adverse possession make up real estate exams. They just throw it on there. It's a cool concept that people, they like to test on. So an easement is a legal right granted to a person or entity that allows them to use another person's property for a particular purpose and for their own benefit, while the property owner retains ownership and control. That retention of ownership is a fundamental that I have seen in many practice questions all over the place, and control of the land. Now, the appurtenant easement is like the original gangster of easements. It's an easement that benefits a specific parcel of land, allowing its owner to use a neighboring property for a particular purpose. And with an easement appurtenant, there is a dominant tenement and a servient tenement. And you want to know the difference. Who gets the right to use, who has to allow the right to use. Dominant versus servient tenement, okay? Dominant versus servient tenement. Oh, Katie just texted me, hey, say congrats to Roddy. Cool name, Roddy. Apparently, Roddy, you passed. That's awesome. That was so cool. In Texas, by the way. So when you get through, and you're going on through the great state of Texas, I want you to visit Roddy, give him a high five. And Roddy, I want you to start getting into the business, closing some deals, and please update us. If we can help you, look, we're not just exam people. We've been doing this for a long time. So if you need some advice, something about like, hey, what's my next step? What do I do? Leave that in the comments too, y'all. We can help with that. We can give you direction. We're putting together some incredible stuff to help folks, but as we're learning what you need, we are happy to serve. So let us know. Roddy, congratulations. That's awesome. Couldn't be more proud. You deserve it. Quick victory lap and then get to work. But congrats. All right, so easement in gross is the next type of easement. Now, this one's an interesting one because this one does not have dominant tenements. It might have a dominant tenant. Now, there's a difference between a tenement, think the word tenement to the land, and dominant tenant, think like a renter, right? A easement in gross is like a utility easement. So I'm negotiating some utility easements right now on a parcel of land that the local government will have access to, right? So they're writing an easement so that they can enter the land and access it. They're the dominant tenant. I'm servient to them because I have to allow the use for them to go on there, but there's no dominant tenement. There is a dominant tenant. And so you want to know some of these little bits and pieces. Mortgage finance is guaranteed on exams. This one is also a topic that kind of vexes folks. There's a lot of like vocab in there. And we have a study guide that we also have. I'm going to share this with you. It was funny and it was unintended. I didn't mean this, but I'm going to share with you anyway because Kate and I kind of got a little bit of an awkward laugh out of it. It was a little tense for a few seconds, but in the study guide available on Audible, hey, check it out if you don't mind. You get to hear my boring voice in your cars. But so chapter 4 of the study guide is finance, and it is the longest unit. It happens to be one of the longest units, if not the longest unit in most books. If you want to say, I agree with you, yes, then just leave that in the comments because it's true. Anyway, it was a long chapter to read. And when I tend to, go at it pretty decent. I'm pretty good on a teleprompter. I'm pretty good impromptu. But when I'm reading and stuff, sometimes I might mess up when you're reading content. I'm human, whatever. But when I would get frustrated, especially during Unit 4, I would sometimes have to stop the recorder and I would like swear. I'd make a flub and I'd say a swear and I'd be like, oh, okay. And then I'd go back and I'm like, mental note when I go back to edit content, because we do all the production in-house. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I edit all that stuff out. And I did a bang up job, except I dropped 2 F-bombs during the reading of the book, and it's in there. And then all of a sudden, a student that bought it, he's like, you should check out this section of this at this timestamp. And I'm like, oh, snap. So I go back and listen to it. And I'm like, oh, my goodness. And so at first, I'm a jokester. I like to goof around. And I thought it was funny. I was a little embarrassed, but I thought it was kind of funny at the same time. If you know me, to know me is to love me. And I do make mistakes. So I don't really care if people, but I didn't want to offend anybody, and it wasn't intended. That was like an unintended consequence of me being frustrated. So I went in, I fixed it. We really uploaded it to Audible. So anybody buying the thing now, you're not going to have evidence of it. We will probably play it at some point in blooper reels or something very funny as part of our social. But anyway, mortgage finance is long. I feel your pain. Even I felt it when I was reading it. I swore at it. So here you go. Anyway, FHA, VA, you definitely need to know the difference of these two government sector programs. And many students don't know that the FHA is not a loan. It is an insurance. Okay, so this is insurance. And the VA is a guarantee program. The Department of Veterans Affairs guarantees a certain percentage of the loan, protecting the bank in case the vet defaults on the transaction. So that's the big difference. You definitely want to know some of the differences. And you also want to note here things about PMI. Private mortgage insurance is a fee paid by home buyers who make a low down payment, typically less than 20% on their home purchase. Now, there is no PMI on government sector loans. PMI is for the conventional conforming loan markets. So there's conventional loans and then there's government sector loans. And the government sector are here. Okay, included to that, which you low probability might see is USDA loans as well. So there's USDA loans, there's FHA, there's VA. FHA has a insurance like PMI called MIP. MIP stands for Mortgage Insurance Premium. It's different. It's conceptually the same. It's an insurance to protect lenders. And FHA is not a lender, by the way. It's a bank. Remember that. It's an insurance, but it's not like PMI, which is in the conventional loan markets. PMI goes away, by the way. FHA MIP does not, even if you put a lot of money down. And then in here, types of mortgages continued. We have the conventional loan, and that's PMI. You want to know when PMI cancels. That's many times on exams. It's 78% loan to value or 22% equity. That's, on exams that you want to definitely know. And then what is the USDA? Just a brief overview. It's a, loan program offered by the Department of Agriculture that provides financing options for eligible homebuyers. And it's really trying to serve underserved communities in like rural areas. It has a 100% financing option, and it's based off of the area's median income to qualify. And then the difference between what a fixed rate mortgage is and an adjustable rate mortgage. And then sometimes you'll see questions on what is a jumbo mortgage. A jumbo mortgage is just a loan that exceeds the conventional conforming loan limit. And this is moving. This will continue to ebb and flow as our home prices go up and go down. Our the mortgage, the conforming loan limits are going to change. For the real estate examinations, you really rarely will see the exact numbers of the conforming loan limits. Sometimes you might, very rarely, but you do need to know the fundamental differences, and sort of that's how that works. Couple of other things. I'm just going to give you like a high level understanding of this. We go through things like the fair housing dates that you want to know, the federally protected classes, the prohibited practices like redlining, etc., water rights, different acronyms, the Sherman antitrust laws, real estate versus real property. We learned about things like alienation. We learned about things like when to use the sales comparison approach versus when to use the cost approach, warranty deeds, general versus special. You definitely want to know that. The 10 acronyms to know. Awesome. In our study guide, this is like killer stuff. Things like what is leverage, rate of return, appreciation, and the financing stuff. And then there's a bunch of cool bonuses. Top 25 real estate terms, some exam tips. And there you go. Now, that is just our cheat sheet. What we are putting out right now is this amazing study guide. And the guide, I'll show you that in a second. But the study guide and all of this stuff can be found if you just go to any of our videos now or links in the description. You'll see the products right here as well. So like on the bottom here, here's the study guide. And as you can see, Kate, in a, probably a wine consumption inexcusable situation, discounted this to $7. So listen, I'm going to tell you this. It's going to change. I don't want this thing to be sold for $7. So because of that, and because of the fact that I am uncool with that price, you better snap it up because it's going to go up. But anyway, you got it for $7 because that's what she says. And she's the boss and I'm not. I just kind of do my dog and pony show. So there you go. The study guide that you're going to be getting is that cheat sheet that we just kind of went through on steroids. It has all of the attributes of the cheat sheet. As you can see here, it's got 66 pages of awesomeness. Here's the table of contents, and I'll show you what's on here. We've got everything from the cheat sheet that we've gone through here, the 10 acronyms, the bonus 25 terms that you should know. We have an entire section on the math that you need to know for my folks that are nervous about math. Listen, I think you can do it. I know you can. But I do meet folks. This breaks it down into ridiculously simple understandings of the math. Even if you just focused on the commission calculations, just this one alone, you should be good to go. So like here, we give you all of the math. We show you the T or the circle approach, which is awesome. And then the capitalization chart, which is important when it comes down to figuring these things out. So this is a great thing and a great resource. It also comes with 100 real estate vocab words, some matching sheets, the matching answers, and then 50 awesome practice questions and a flashcard blank template that you can go ahead and download and make your own flashcards. So check out the study guide. It's awesome. I think it's totally underpriced. You've heard me say this. I don't know how long I'm going to tolerate that. However, we want you to pass. So snatch this thing up and go and work. And then what we're going to do is we're going to keep working on little pieces of this to show you its effectiveness as a study tool. Use this thing put your 700-page books aside. Like, why? Don't put yourself through that. Let's get through this exam the intelligent way, the right way, the streamlined way, right? So, like, this is the way that I would approach it when I'm working with a client. And a lot of folks are beginning to know this about me. I work with private client groups. They hire me to go in there and train executive level folks when it comes to licensing, folks that are bringing in deals, people that are bringing in big numbers, and all they need to do is get through the examinations and onboard properly. We cut years off of the orientation of new agents with the different elements that I teach over time. So it's like, whoa, it's not the cost of what people are spending. It's the value that they're getting. They're bringing in and onboarding agents that are already worth hundreds of thousands of dollars because they just know what they're doing. And that's what we specialize in. And that's sort of the point. And so the way I approach the educational piece is, hey, it's education. Yeah. Pass the exam. Yeah. But did you know that there's like 4 things that you need to know about this? And there's 3 things here that have saved millions of dollars over the years for me and other investors, and hundreds of millions of dollars for professionally large portfolio investors, and strategy and structures. And it all comes from the basics here, right? There's nothing innovative beyond the basics, right? It's just an application and an interpretation. Anyway, I leave you with those bits of information. Thank you for hanging with us during the exam breakdown. You guys are the best. I think what's going to happen is we are moving some time with exam breakdowns, and we're going to be moving this to every other week. We have just been like inundated with some awesome clients and private client groups, and we're working on stuff. We're also soon to be releasing our exam masterclass, which is a masterclass of the things that you need to know, cutting out 80% of the garbage that you need to not worry about for real estate examinations. Comes with amazing quizzes, amazing final examinations. These are like battle tested over years, 25 years of priming, pruning, and trimming away. Some of the best stuff that I've ever done. And it's the stuff that I will work through on theory, in terms of theory, when it comes to my private client groups. And when these guys hire me, this is the theory that I teach them, and we're making it available to you guys. It is not the most affordable option. All right, I'm just telling you that up front. But 2 hours of my private coaching time bills out for about $1,000. And so, those are my prices. That's what I've been doing for years. I don't teach conventional courses. I teach private groups, and that's sort of what my specialty is. And so, because of that, we're like, how do we make this accessible to our folks? Well, some folks just want to, part the velvet ropes and cut the line and not spend hours studying on YouTube and being distracted and all of these other things, or they have deals pending. And if you are one of those people, then I suggest you check out our masterclass. It's available now. Links are in descriptions that you will find throughout specific videos. So check those out. Again, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for subscribing. If you found some value and you haven't subscribed, then please consider doing so. It would mean the world to us. Thank you all. We hit 10,000 subscribers just recently. We couldn't be more thrilled. You guys are making us continue this good effort. I love hearing when you guys pass. Roddy, congrats. Homie, that's awesome. I'm so proud. Keep it up. Check in with us. Everybody, check in when you're passing. We love to hear it. And if you're having some difficulties, if you're stuck somewhere, let us know. We read all of these comments. We get back to people. It's me looking through comments going, dude, I want to help this person. Okay, what do we do? And then I'll text Kate, and I'm like, Kate, how can we help this person? She's like, stop. You're being crazy. That's the kind of intensity that we have. It's just honest to goodness. I don't know why I want to help people. People ask me, I don't get why you're being so kind. Dude, I don't understand either. Just don't ask me. Let me just do what I got to do to feel right. Good luck with your studies. I hope the time you spent with us today will yield you some success. Good luck with your studies. Good luck on your tests. We will see you at the next breakdown this Wednesday, and then we're taking a little pause because we've got some stuff. So we're going to be posting in our community forum when we're going live again with the next exam breakdowns. We'll see you at our next exam breakdown real soon. See you soon.